Have you ever wanted to control your iPad from your Mac using the same keyboard and mouse? Or what about controlling your Mac from another Mac using the same keyboard and mouse? Well, Apple just released a new software update for the Mac and iPad that enables a feature called Universal Control. And I hate to sound cliche, but it really is magical. All right, so before you can set up and use Universal Control, you'll need to update the software on both of your devices. On the Mac, that means opening up the System Preferences pane, selecting Software Update, and following the prompts. On your iPad, that means going to the Settings app, General, Software Update, and following the prompts there. When it's all said and done, you should be running macOS 12.3 and iPadOS 15.4 on the respective devices. Now, in order to set up or enable Universal Control, you'll need to do a couple of things on the iPad as well as on the Mac to get the two devices to communicate with each other. So I'm going to walk you through doing that now. The first thing you'll want to do is open System Preferences on your Mac, find Displays and click on it, and then find Universal Control and select that. There's a checkbox at the top next to allow your cursor and keyboard to move between any nearby Mac or iPad with the beta tag next to it. Go ahead and check that and leave everything else checked here and then select Done. On the iPad, what you'll want to do is go into Settings, General, AirPlay and Handoff, and make sure cursor and keyboard beta is turned on. Once that is done, all you have to do on your Mac is move the mouse cursor towards the edge of the display. It takes a second for the two devices to connect, but as you can see on the iPad's display, I now have a mouse pointer with an icon of a laptop, and if I keep dragging, I am now controlling the iPad from my Mac. And as you notice, this is the same mouse pointer that is always there on the iPad. This isn't changing how the iPad behaves. It isn't extending the display over to the iPad. I can then scroll around, do the normal stuff that I would do using the keyboard and the trackpad from the Mac on my iPad. All right, so you can actually drag and drop files between the two devices just as you would on your Mac or on the iPad if you're dragging between apps. So using the Mac as my control here, and you see how seamless that is once it connects. It's crazy. I'll open the Files app. And I'll select a picture I took of the iPad Air 5th generation that I just reviewed for ZDNet. And that's the same file. I'm dragging and dropping here to the Mac's desktop in a folder I had created there. It's pretty simple, really easy to use. Now, if you want to change the location of the iPad display in relation to your Mac, you could actually go into System Preferences, and then click on Displays, and here you have the iPad's display. So if I wanted to move the iPad over to this side, I could. If I had a larger external monitor and I wanted to put it underneath, I could. But for now, I'll just leave it here. If you do run into issues getting this to work, make sure that both devices are signed into the same iCloud account or using the same Apple ID. Make sure Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi are enabled on both devices, and they're within 30 feet, which obviously in this situation they are within 30 feet, so it's pretty easy. But I don't really see you using this from across the room. There's some other things you need to know about this as well, and that includes that it's not available on every Mac and every iPad. Apple has a list of supported devices if you're running into issues on its support page, and we'll include a link to that in the description down below, and you could follow that and see if your device is on the list or not. For more great tech tips just like this one, as well as tech news in general, make sure to check us out at zdnet.com.